Hey everyone, this is Oscar, the movie guy, and today I'm going to give you my top 10 best movies of 2015. Now, last month I did my top 10 worst movies of 2015, and man, that was so painful to do. Now that I got the worst out of the way, I'm going to do my best. Now, before I begin this list, I didn't see a lot of movies like other movie critics did this past year. Like, I did see a lot, but not like compared to other movie critics. Like, movies that you expect to be on this list, it's not going to. Like, I have not seen The Revenant, The Hateful Eight, Room, The Big Short, Bridge of Spies. So yeah, but I did see the movies I wanted to see or wanted to see because I heard good reviews or perfect reviews about it. Before I announce number 10, I do have some honorable mentions. So yeah, let me pull up my list real quick. Here are my honorable mentions. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, Kingsman, The Secret Service, Cartel Land, Ex Machina, and Mad Max Fury Road. Number 10 is Shaun the Sheep, the movie. Now, when I first saw the trailer for this movie, it didn't look that good at all. I mean, there was no dialogue, the story was simple, but it almost got a perfect score by other reviewers, so I went to go see it. Plus, it was a box office bomb, so I had to go see it right away. And thank God I did, because this movie was really cute, it was really funny, and the best part about this movie is that since it has no dialogue, it fits well. It reminded me of Tom and Jerry or the other cartoon classics with no dialogue back when my parents were my age. That's what makes this movie special. Number 10 is Shaun the Sheep. Number 9 is a movie that I really liked, but I wasn't planning on putting it on my top 10 best of 2015. The reason I did is because I feel bad because this movie was really good and it was a box office bomb. Okay, so number 9 is The Walk. This movie was so visually beautiful. In fact, the last 45 minutes of this movie, I was sweating. My God, it made me so nervous. It's like, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know like if Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character was going to die or was he going to pull it off. It's like my heart was beating fast, and I saw this movie in 3D. The 3D was excellent. One of the best I've seen in a long time. And what really makes me inspired for The Walk is that dreams do come true no matter if it's impossible or illegal. Number 9 is The Walk. Number 8 is a film that I have not seen the franchise of this film, but when I heard it was like a spin-off sequel, I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. It was from the director of Fruitvale Station, and it stars Michael B. Jordan and Sylvester Stallone. That's right, number 8 is Creed. Creed was a special movie. It wasn't just about a former boxer training the younger boxer in order to fight better and win a match. No, this movie was more than that. It was about friendship, and how the two boxers got along, and it's also finding the legacy of Creed, which is his father's name, Apollo Creed. Not knowing what to expect because I think I've only seen bits and pieces of Rocky 3 last year during school, and it was okay, but it wasn't that good either. The performance, the best part of this movie was Sylvester Stallone. He made me want to cry because he gave the best performance of his life, and I'm glad he got a nomination for Best Supporting Actor, and I hope he wins. Or maybe the other Best Supporting Actors might win. And Michael B. Jordan, he also does a really good job. You actually believe that he is Apollo Creed's son. He fights really good, and I heard he got knocked out during filming, which I'm sorry. I feel really bad. The director of Fruitvale Station, he does a great job. He actually cares about this franchise. He does everything in his heart to make it a success. So yeah, number 8 is Creed. Number 7 is The Martian. The Martian was directed by Ridley Scott. I really love Ridley Scott, mainly from Prometheus and Alien. I think I still hate Robin Hood, so I had a mixed feeling about The Martian. But it had Matt Damon and all of the other supporting casts. I was like, okay, I'll go see it. So I went to go see this in 3D, and my God, this movie was awesome. Visuals were great. Matt Damon gives a great performance. And what really surprised me is that this movie, it's not just a drama, it's actually a comedy. In fact, it got nominated for Best Comedy or Musical Picture at the Golden Globes like a month ago. And it actually won. It was really surprised how it was also a comedy because there was some humor and I chuckled and laughed a few times. I was like, wow, this movie's really smart. Like, it actually works. But honestly, I would prefer more drama for The Martian because seeing this trailer makes me want to believe that it's a drama. Because of the humor, it still worked. Number 7 is The Martian. Number 6 was a film based on my childhood because I used to watch the series, the comics, and the TV specials every year when I was a little kid. Number 6 is the Peanuts movie. Man, I was so scared going into this movie because I didn't want them to change, because the characters are timeless. It's like you cannot change who they really are. And my God, I'm glad that the writers, the director, and the studio who produced this movie decided to keep it that way, like the classics. Like, you don't see these kids with cell phones, iPods, iPads, laptops. They actually play outside. They go ice skating, they play soccer, fly kites, play in the snow, baseball. It's like they act like kids. And that was so refreshing to see in a kids movie. Most kids movies like Hotel Transylvania 2, man, that movie had a lot of technology and a lot of cell phones with the monsters, which really upsets me, honestly. But after seeing the Peanuts movie, it's like it makes me want to go play outside again with my friends. Even though my friends are into Xbox or PlayStation, maybe I'll convince them someday to play outside with me. And also, Snoopy and Woodstock were genius. They were funny and they were the best part. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I actually want a sequel to the Peanuts movie. I don't know if it's going to happen. They say it may not, but if it doesn't, that's fine. But I would really like to see more of these characters, especially in a film about summer, because that's where I left off. Like The Last Day of School. Please be a sequel. Please be a sequel. May not happen, but we'll see. Number 6 is the Peanuts movie. Number 5 is a movie I went to go see in theaters and I adored it. It made me cry at the end. I bought it on Blu-ray like last month, and when I watched it, I adored it like a little less, but I still loved it the way it was. Number 5 is Me and Earl and a Dying Girl. What I love about this movie is that it was so different than the other romance movies we got, like The Fault in Our Stars or Twilight. It's not about love, it's about friendship. And in reality, when a boy and a girl meets, it's going to be about friendship. It's not going to be like, oh, let's have sex, or let's be friends with benefits, or I want to kiss you, or I want to take you out on a date. This movie focuses on friendship. And that's how it should be for any other romantic comedy or drama coming out in the future or this year. And I hope the director and the writer of this movie get together again to make another movie like this. Or any type of genre is fine. And number 5 is Me and Earl and a Dying Girl. Number 4 is a movie that I just reviewed this week. You guessed it, number 4 is Star Wars The Force Awakens. This movie did not disappoint me at all. This movie, I wanted this movie to be fun, entertaining, emotional at times, and by the end of it, I got all of it. I got everything that I wanted. Great action, good acting, amazing special effects, and great direction by J.J. Abrams. What made me really happy is that the old characters from the old Star Wars movie actually returned. You have Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, R2, Layla, and more. And also Rey and Finn, which are the 2 new main characters in this movie. They actually do a great job. They have great chemistry. You actually care about their friendship, you actually care. And also you have Oscar Isaac, which I thought was the best part of this movie. He did not have a lot of screen time, but what he was in, he did a phenomenal job. I do hope that these characters return in Star Wars Episode 8. Let's just pray that it happens. Number 4 is Star Wars The Force Awakens. Alright, it's finally time. My top 3. This was really hard like number 2 and 3, it was really hard to switch them back and forth, and I thought about it a lot for a month, and I finally placed them in a correct position. Number 3 is it's gonna surprise a lot of you. It came back in March, and that is It Follows. I know what y'all thinking. Like, really? It Follows at number 3? Yes, let me tell you why. For months and years, we've been getting horror movies with jump scares, or predictable endings, or unlikable characters. This movie was completely different. In fact, this movie was not even scary, to be honest. But I will say, this movie is really terrifying. It reminded me of the horror movies that came out in the 80s. Because of the score, it was really well done. The characters, at first, you don't really like them at first, but during halfway through the ending, you actually care about them. And this movie was really creepy. Pretty much the aspect of this movie was a person seeing a vision from a person, like an old person with no clothes. So you see the penises, the boobs, the vaginas, which was really terrifying. That's what made it scary. It didn't use no jump scares. That was terrifying. What you look like, nude old people just coming straight at you. Ugh. Great job, director. I hope you do it again, but in a different aspect, with different characters and different actors. Number 3 is It Follows. Number 2 is a movie that I arrived late, like 5 to 10 minutes. I was really upset for that. Once the movie ended, it was worth it. I loved every single minute of this movie, and it got me floored after. Number 2 is Spotlight. Wow, Spotlight just really got myself, like, attention. It got my eyes glued to the screen the entire movie. Like, it was pretty disturbing how, like, the Catholic priest sexually molested children, and they can get away with it. It's like, that's not right. But I understand why, because if you say no to that, it's like saying no to God, which really gets me thinking, like, will it hurt God if you say no to a priest who wants to sexually molest you? That's a tough question to answer right now. But the performance by Mark Ruffalo was outstanding. There was one scene that made me smile, and I just clapped because I was like, yes, that's how you act. He even got a nomination for Best Supporting Actor at the 2016 Oscars Academy Awards. And the rest of the cast does a great job. In fact, this cast gives a great combination. I was smiling throughout the whole movie, in a good way, not a bad way. I was just enjoying it so much, and I can't wait to get this movie on Blu-ray when it comes out. And I love this movie so much, and that's it. So yeah, number 2 is Spotlight. Finally, here we are. My number 1 favorite movie of 2015 is a movie that came out in the summer. It's an animated movie. Usually animated movies don't make it to my number 1 spot. But this movie was so special. I went to go see it twice in theaters, and I cried both times at the end. Number 1 is Inside Out. Well, Disney Pixar, you have done it again. You made a perfect animated movie for adults and children, mostly adults, and you make us cry a lot. The first time I saw this, I only cried once. The second time I saw this, I cried not only once, but twice. I was like, damn, Pixar. I'm gonna have to cry for the rest of my life if I have to see any of your movies. Not a bad way, in a good way. So yeah, this movie was so special. It touched my heart. I wanted to go see it for the 3rd time, but I didn't want to cry again, so I just waited. I don't even have this movie on Blu-ray yet, because I'm afraid I'm going to cry for the 3rd time. But I will get it, I promise you, but it's just, I have to think about it. I adored this movie so much. Inside Out is my favorite movie of 2015. So yeah, that was my top 10 best movies of 2015. What is your list? Leave a comment down below. Like, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.